Today is the day that is supposed to represent freedom and independence in America. Allow me to inform you of the real meaning of July 4th. Let's go back to 1776 when the land of America was full of revolution. July 4th, 1776 marks a remarkable date when the 13 colonies of England ceased to exist and the United States of America was born. This defined a remarkable time in history when colonies defeated an empire and set their own terms of governance. In fact, Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, dreamt that America would be a land of yeoman farmers where each family would farm his own goods, trade and barter his own things, and truly be a self-sufficient and independent nation. This is the true celebration of July 4th. Yet America today is not quite what Thomas Jefferson dreamt it to be, yet somehow Americans still hold the belief that we celebrate July 4th because America today is a land of liberty, freedom, and independence. July 4th has turned into a celebration of America now. We sort of celebrate the dream that the United States still is a remarkable definition of freedom and independence. Images such as the Statue of Liberty, which says, "Give me your tired, your weak, and your weary, but keep them out of Arizona." Images such as fireworks and barbecues, those are the things that come to my mind when I think of how we currently celebrate the holiday. There is a huge difference to what America stood for as a nation on July 4th, 1776 and what America stands for today. And I want to be clear on which of these we are celebrating. The true meaning of July 4th represents an era of America 300 years ago and not the America now. Alright, so how can we think our nation still represents independence and freedom when it is filled with dependent people, the most dependent people? Today we have not the self-sufficient Rockefeller family, but instead we have people who are dependent on addictions such as porn, alcohol, drugs, and even bad relationships. Americans were dependent on our fast food, our internet, and our kids were spending more time plugged into computer screens than we are with real people. This nation is dependent on our turkey dinners, on our Walmart sales. Americans are addicted to our Black Friday shopping sprees that generates more than $450 billion in sales. Some Americans are dependent on our Hollywood movies and our TV shows. In 2004, American consumers spent $2.2 trillion on entertainment commodities. In 2005, Americans spent $86 billion on sporting accessories, including $852 million on snowmobile accessories. America is dependent on all her stuff. She just has to have it. So how can Americans of 2010 still believe it to be an independent nation when in 2006 the American savings rate was negative for the entire year, which is the worst rate since the Great Depression? This means that as a nation most people are not independent at all, but actually in bondage to debt. Debt to the mortgage, in debt to the nice car, in debt to the private college student loans, to the vacation around the world. America is not an independent nation at all. In fact, currently we are spending $1.8 billion a week in Iraq. As of February 23rd, 2008, the estimated monthly cost for the Afghanistan war was $16 billion. And we've been in Afghanistan for a decade. So somehow America still thinks itself to be the Johnny Appleseed of freedom, where it can go to Vietnam or Iraq or Afghanistan and spread democracy. See, the ironic thing about Iraq is that in 1963 the CIA actually put Saddam Hussein into power, and in 2010 removed him for the sake of democracy. So today in 2010 there is nothing self-sufficient about a debt-ridden America supported by Chinese banks. So let's be clear on the true meaning of July 4th. We are not celebrating a nation full of working class poor. We are not celebrating American policymakers that have a God complex. We are not celebrating a nation that spent more than $69 billion in national defense in the last 20 years but still have people living under fear. We are not celebrating a nation that prides itself to be independent but has a California minimum wage of $8 an hour. July 4th is a celebration of the birth of the United States and its separation from England. That's what we're celebrating. And lastly, to my fellow Christians, is America representing the kingdom of heaven brought down to earth? If it is, then by all means wave the flag. But if America is not the kingdom of heaven brought down to earth, then I ask you, instead of celebrating today, July 4th, I ask you to stop and think about ways that you can bring the kingdom of heaven to your local community as it is in heaven. Thank you.